Welcome to another episode of the Muffed Punt podcast. My name is Brandon, and tonight we have the Super Bowl episode. I am definitely super excited to get our Super Bowl predictions in. But before we get started, we have some big news that we have to go over. But before we get into that, how are we doing tonight, gentlemen?
Amazing. I guess I'm the only one.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
No, I'm good. I wasn't sure what order we were going to go in, so.
It doesn't matter. I'm good enough. I got all of you covered. I'm happy enough for four of us today, so it's all good.
With that said, let's get into the Matt Stafford business of it all. I don't think any of us saw that coming over the weekend, but we had the Matt Stafford trade. I don't even know if Matt Stafford and Sean McVay saw it coming, although I heard they were both in Cabo at the same time. No, in no particular order, what were your guys' thoughts, your initial thoughts on all this? We can kind of get into the minutia as it goes, but I guess the main things I want to know is, give me your thoughts and also give me a grade. Give me a letter grade on what you thought of the trade.
All right, I guess I'll go first. I think the Rams get an A on this trade because this makes them, in my eyes, the class of the NFC. I think they make at least the NFC Championship game next year, as long as they stay healthy, obviously. The Lions, I think that they fleeced the Rams a little bit. So I think that this was really a win-win because the Lions get some valuable stuff to try to rebuild, even though it won't be used correctly because they're the Lions. But they got a starting-ish quarterback for, 6 games this year before he goes down. They got those draft picks. So I think that it's the thing that I think is funniest is the Rams to get and trade away both times got rid of 2 first-round draft picks. That's amazing. I can't remember ever seeing a team give up 4 first-round draft picks to get and then give away a quarterback. Amazing. Love it. But with that defense and with all the offensive weapons that the Rams have, and with Matt Stafford being on a competent team, they're going to be tough to beat next year.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that. I think, obviously, I don't think any of us are really surprised that Stafford got moved. I know that there was a lot of teams that had a lot of interest in him. But this is, I guess it's tough. It is really a win-win situation for both teams. I definitely think that I give the edge to the Rams. I know they gave up a ton in, draft capital. They did get rid of Jared Goff. Detroit's taken on that contract. So, that's a win for them in one sense. And you get a much better quarterback to lead your team that is now Super Bowl ready. But grade-wise, it's tough. I guess I would give the Rams like a B+ because of the fact that they gave away so much in draft capital and that part of it. But, Detroit definitely is set up to have – you get 2 first-round picks, a third. You get basically pretty much a placeholder quarterback, I think. Obviously, you're paying them like a top quarterback, but, it is what it is with that. But – yeah, this is crazy. Plus, it was so late on Saturday night. It was like, where did this come from, kind of thing. But I'm happy to see what Stafford can do with a contending team and all of those receiving weapons that he'll have now at his disposal. They're going to be tough.
Real quick, Terry. So you think that the draft capital that they gave up, the picks, you think that given that they don't really have a lot of holes because they've been able to plug in things with free agents. And the free agents have worked out for them, which is surprising because free agents, especially that many, don't typically come together very well. So you think that giving up those 2 firsts, even if they end up being like essentially a second round pick, if they're going to be between 28 and 32, you think that that's too much? And the last part, how much do you guys know how much the Lions are actually going to pay Goff? Because I know he's going to have a lot of dead cap money with the Rams for a while.
It's like actually the record for the most dead cap money, I think, in league history.
Okay. Yeah. So if I'm the Lions, that's an extra win because you're not paying him what he's getting paid.
Yeah, that's true. But I just feel like the Rams know that. The Rams are going to be in the playoffs the next couple of years with what they have now with Stafford. So you're right. They're going to be late first round picks in unless something happens like injury wise. But yeah, I mean, for them, I guess, it is worth it to give that up because you're already pretty set. I mean, I don't know how their cap situation. I know they're pretty tight against the cap as it is. And then with that dead money, it's not going to help. But I mean, they really have, most of the major positions pretty much locked in. So yeah, I mean, for them, it's definitely worth making the trade. I mean, for the Lions, that means you're going to get a top 10 pick for the next 2 years, along with a late first rounder. So, it'll give them a lot to be able to try and build their team up. So
Rams gave up a lot. Like you guys are saying, the picks are going to be later in the first round. The Rams have been really good with giving their first round picks away, but still being successful while they do it. They gave 2 away to get Jared. I know they gave 1 away to get Woods. I think there was another one in there as well that they gave away. Another, another 2.
For Jalen.
Yeah, they gave 1 away for Jalen, and then now they gave away 2 to get rid of Goff. They've plugged in the holes where they needed to. They have superstars on their team that are very good at what they do, but everybody else besides those guys are just plug and play guys that are on minimal contracts, but it works for them. They find, diamonds in the rough when it comes to their defense. And like you have Cooper Kupp, his contract's going to be coming up here in a year or 2. I think they have the 5th year option on him. So they're going to be tight for a little bit, but I think they have the quarterback that they want probably for the next 2 or 3 years. But the thing is, Stafford's contract's done, I believe, after this year. So he kind of has to sign with them if it all works out. Jared Goff, he's a serviceable quarterback that's going to last them as long as they need him, I guess. It gives them the opportunity to kind of sit back, and if they want to trade up those late draft picks, late first round draft picks for, a lower one, if they know that they found a guy that they want, they can do that. If they find their guy, they can pull the trigger, and they know they can. And if they don't, they get 4 first round draft picks for the next 2 years. So it kind of worked out for them that way. So I give the Rams a B. I give the Lions probably a B plus, A minus, just because anytime you get first round draft picks, that's awesome.
So do you think first round draft picks are necessary? I mean, given that the Rams essentially have given away, 4, 5, 6 first round draft picks in the last 4 years. They've been in a Super Bowl, made the playoffs again, and now they got Matt Stafford through it.
Yeah, I think first round draft picks are necessary. A lot of the key guys that are going to contribute to your team are going to be in there. And if you don't get those picks, you're spending more money bringing in guys like Jalen Ramsey, where if they would have drafted somebody like Jalen Ramsey, they get him for the first 4 to 5 years under a minimal contract compared to, $20 million a year. He's going to be making 8. So I think first round draft picks, you can get starters out of easy as long as you do your due diligence. I mean, obviously there's draft busts. That happens. But you look at teams like New England, well, yeah, their first round draft picks, it doesn't matter because they just draft whoever they want and they're awesome all the time. But, you look at Cleveland and Miami over the years, they've had so many busts in the first round. So maybe you don't need first round draft picks. I don't know. I think it's a good building. If you want to build a franchise for more than a couple of years, you're going to need your first round draft picks.
I completely disagree with that. And I think that the Rams are kind of case in point. I think if you look, granted,
the Rams are one team in the last how many years that have done it. That has actually worked out for.
Okay. But the Rams never would have been in a position to draft Jalen Ramsey on their own. So the only way they're going to get somebody that
they were horrible in St. Louis. When Jalen Ramsey got drafted, I'm pretty sure they had the opportunity to get him if they wanted him.
I don't remember if him and Goff were in the same draft class or if they were a year apart, but they didn't have a team back then. And if you see somebody who's going to be who you think is going to be a franchise quarterback, you always have to go with that person because the Packers without Aaron Rodgers, remember when he was injured, they sucked. And then Aaron Rodgers comes in, and just having him on the team turns them into a winning team. So if you're going after the guy, I'm never going to rag on you for going after what you think could be a legitimate contender. But I think that first round draft picks flop so often. Look at the Lions when they had, what was it, Roy Williams, Calvin Johnson, and another one. They had like top three wide receivers in three straight drafts. Calvin Johnson was the only
Charles
one.
Rodgers,
yeah. And Calvin Johnson was the only one who was good. And then he ends up quitting in his prime, just like Barry Sanders. So I don't think that you need first round picks to make an NFL team work.
So when I look at all this, I have like three different things to come to mind to me, because I'm about right around where you guys are. I'm around to be for me for both teams, I feel like. So my big three questions are, we'll start with the first one. I hear a lot of Matt Stafford MVP talk. Do you guys really think this offense could be that good?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
You're dumb. Your opinion doesn't matter.
All right. Stafford puts up great numbers every year. He puts up 4,500, 30 touchdowns every year.
He's never had
up or not.
He's never had a top 15 defense ever. So he's got So he's going to have a defense, and he has better weapons than he's ever had outside of the time that he had Calvin Johnson, who was the only weapon on the team.
Right. But then you have to also look at it as the division he's playing in. He's going to have to go up against, Aaron Rodgers. Who knows if he's going to be able to pull off a 48 touchdown season again. But he's going to have to go up against Patty Holmes. And I think Patrick Holmes is going to win it next year. He's put up good numbers this year. He's gonna be right there next year. So I don't see maybe Stafford. I don't know.
I think that Patrick Mahomes becomes the James Harden of the NFL, and that he's going to end up doing.
James Harden is straight trash.
Okay, well, you
get
are
out of
dumb.
here.
You just don't like
get
the
out
NBA.
of here. Get out of here. No, I hate James Harden.
Nate,
I have since yesterday.
Nate, shut the up. So you're going to have Matt Stafford.
You guys are going to get the 10 real quick.
Brandon.
No shit. Thanks for reminding me.
All right. So you're going to have Patrick Mahomes turn into James Harden, in that he's going to put up numbers like we've never seen before, but we're going to get used to it. So what does everybody always want? They always want the next thing. Who's new? Matt Stafford hasn't been the next thing because he's been on such bad teams. So if you get Matt Stafford the first year, I think he wins in MVP.
Do you want to put money on it right now?
Yes.
All right. How much? $50?
Sure. $50. You're taking Mahomes. I'm taking Stafford.
No, I'm just betting that Stafford doesn't win it.
Okay. No. You've got like 10,000 opportunities. That is the dumbest thing ever. I'm not betting you that one person is going to outdo the rest of the league.
You sounded pretty confident about him. I mean, are you confident about it? You think he's going to win?
Confident, yes, but I will never be
then bet me
dumb
$50.
enough. No, I'm not going to be dumb enough to one-to-one.
You have to
give me odds, and I will take that. But I'm not taking a straight-up $50 bet for one player against the entire NFL. That's the dumbest thing.
I'll take Patty Mahomes if you stop crying about it.
All right, Paul, you can be our official betmeister and make sure that we keep a tally and we write down these bets now, because we've had a few. I just want to make sure we start keeping track, and then that, because as we move into next season, this is going to become a much more frequent thing. So the next question that I had that I really wanted to know is, I was kind of curious through all of this. I mean, you guys have all, I think, Nate, have you played football? I actually haven't asked. I'm sorry, bud.
Oh yeah. I played for many years.
Okay. So you guys have all played football. I'm the lone guy in the room that has not. So my question is, with Jared Goff not working out and going to Detroit, if he ends up doing well in Detroit, do you guys have any feeling whatsoever that part of the reason why things maybe didn't work out with the Rams could be McVay? Like, is maybe McVay not this amazing coach that everybody made him out, as far as like, could that be a flaw, that he's not a coach him up guy? It's my system's my system, and if that fits, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, is there any narrative there that you guys pull from that at all?
The only narrative that I would pull from that is that they didn't work together. And I mean, if Jared Goff goes somewhere and starts looking good, then that's kind of a cooler of a trade for the Rams. But if you have two people who aren't going to get along because one of them wants to pipe the other one's girlfriend and that gets leaked from a group text message to your coach, you're not probably going to be able to work together very well.
Do you guys think that was real? You think that was real?
In every way do I think that.
I mean, have you seen McVay's girlfriend?
Yeah.
I want to pipe McVay's girlfriend. Jeez Louise, don't tell my wife.
I'm tagging her in this.
Nate, I know you're new to the podcast, but this stuff does get recorded.
And I mean,
sorry,
if Stafford goes to the Rams and he chokes, then that sucks. But I don't think that that's going to be a problem. I think that Sean McVay is that good of a coach. Not being able to get one player to perform who underachieved in college is nothing that would surprise me or turn me against who I think is the best young coach in the game.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm going to have to go with McVay on this one. I mean, he's put in a system that clearly works with Goff's shortcomings. He's, kind of like Wentz. I mean, Goff has regressed. It looked, at the beginning of this, it kind of looked like he was going to be pretty good too. That like Monday night shootout game. I mean, they were just throwing the ball all over the place, but Goff just didn't take the next step, and he's regressed ever since. So, I mean, in this instance, I think for them, he's not going to get any better. So we got to replace him with someone who's got the talent that can take us to the next level. Get us past the Packers, get them past the other teams.
Oh, that's a cute story. It's so cute when Eagles fans have hope.
Well, hey, man, I mean, Paul, if Stafford has such a great year and he's an MVP, he should easily get past the Packers.
I thought he was talking about the Eagles.
No, he's talking.
That's my bad.
I mean, they did lose to the Packers in the playoffs, so I was kind of,
Paul's hard drive just short circuited and it went to Aldo shit talk default.
Yeah,
pretty much. He's like, I'm gonna with this guy.
It's my default setting. I'm not even sorry. Whatever. I'm DQ'd from this round. My bad.
All right. So last one. I kind of find it admirable. I mean, although it hasn't worked out in every instance, Todd Gurley, that the Rams kind of go for it every single year. I feel like for myself, if I had a franchise, I mean, I don't feel like that would ever be a situation that I would be in, but let's just say it was. It would be really hard for me to have those like off years. If I had the money, I'd be wanting to spend it, seeing what I could do with it, try to bring back some chips. And I feel like the Rams do that. What do you guys think?
That's what I love about the Rams and why I don't think they need draft picks, because they swing for the fences. I love that. No guts, no glory.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it, spend it, right? So they have it, they spent it. I mean, they don't care about spending it. They spent it on anybody they want to spend it on, and it worked out for them. So, I mean, I hope they don't make the playoffs next year, and I hope Stafford breaks his ankle week 1, so I get $50, but whatever.
Wow. Cold-blooded. What was that?
I was just gonna say, looking at it from the outsider perspective, I mean, McVay wasn't the guy there when they drafted Goff, so it's not his guy either. That was the regime. True. Jeff Fisher before him is the guy that, was there, wanted to draft up to get him. I'm sure that the GM was obviously involved in that too, but McVay wants someone that's on that he likes, which Goff clearly, he wasn't that guy. And then with the Gurley situation, they overpaid him and he's got one leg. And then they realized that we have to put this guy on like a load management program to actually be able to play. The fact that they were able to get rid of him with that contract, I mean, they cut him, right?
They cut him.
Yeah, they cut him straight up. So they just, yeah. So he lost the contract, but they had to eat some of that money.
Yeah, but all of his guarantee money was pretty much gone out of it. The guarantee money was in the first couple of years. So if there was any, it wasn't much. The thing with Goff is, from stories I've heard, the reason they got him in the first place was because they were moving. They had no franchise quarterback. They needed a quarterback that could be the face while they go into a brand new market and have a brand new stadium and they just needed somebody. And that's why they drafted up, because they're like, we need that quarterback. We need somebody to be the face of this franchise for the next couple of years. And it didn't work out, I think, as good as they were hoping, or as good as it looked at one point. I think he's going to be a great backup quarterback after, his time in Detroit is done, or until they get, the quarterback of their future. But I don't see him ever going to be a number one somewhere else.
For me, I felt like the biggest knock on Jared Goff was always just turns the ball over. I thought quarterback wise, like, he can make the throws. It's just he can't hold on to the football.
So small hands.
Yeah, I mean, he does have small hands. And going back to his days at Cal Berkeley, he looked good because he's got an arm, but he was very, very average as a quarterback there.
Speaking of a guy that's not average, reports are, I was either yesterday or today, that now the Deshaun Watson situation has escalated and he's essentially willing to sit out the entire year if it comes to it, just so that he can get off of the Texans roster. I've heard.
You know what? That would be awesome.
I've heard even multiple teammates have come forward and said basically that, like, do you, boo? Like, we 1,000% understand. We think you need to do whatever you need to do to get out of here. What do you guys think about this situation?
Do it. But if you do it, you got to do it the whole way. Don't say, oh, I'm going to sit out. And then week 2, you're like, all right, I want to play. No, if you're out, you're out. Don't go back.
So, I mean, the three of us have played football. We all know that there's injuries that you can get that can't be detected by tests. So if I was getting paid that much and didn't want to play for them, I wouldn't sit out. I would go to practice. I would say I'm injured and, hey, I can't play, but you're still going to pay me because you can't prove that I'm not injured.
Hey, man, I'm never going to fault a guy for getting his money.
Absolutely not.
No, yeah, they already did him dirty when he wanted some input with the coaching situation, and then they just went and did their own thing, and nobody even heard the guy they hired. Obviously, they passed over the guy from the Chiefs, Bieniemy. But yeah, I mean, if your franchise is not want to go to bat for you and to do that, considering how much of a star this guy is, then screw him, man. Sit out the year, force them to trade you, force them to take a deal. I mean, they're gonna get a king's ransom for him regardless. I mean, whatever team wants to pony up the picks. I mean, the Texans are only going to squander them anyway. So why not just sit out and let them screw it up? Just then you'll have a chance. I mean, there's several teams that there's already rumors that they're willing to give up more than what just happened with the Stafford and Goff trade. So first, 2 seconds.
Do you think that this goes on long enough where they're going to get more than what the Rams got for Stafford? Or do you think
that's been my thing? Because my thing this whole time is, if I'm the NFL team, I'm waiting. I'm not doing crap until they have to do something, because you're going to pay too much otherwise, I would think.
Yeah. The longer you wait, the less you're going to get. If they want to get your king's ransom, they got to go now. But they don't want to go now because they're the Texans, and they're like, no, this is our guy, but our guy doesn't want anything to do with us. So get rid of him. Get everything you can for him, and just be done.
What do you think, Paul? Do you think if the longer it goes, the less they get?
Yeah, that's my whole point in all of this is no team is going to be incentivized to give up more than what they absolutely have to get a player who's actively trying to get out of a situation. We've seen that play out in the NBA before. Teams end up not getting anything near what they were offered for players if they wait till the trade deadline or wait till the off season. It's kind of bound to happen at this point. I think that Deshaun has played his last snap for the Texans. I think that is why Eric Bieniemy didn't try harder to get the Texans job, because I wouldn't want the Texans job without Deshaun Watson. I think he got too easily passed over for the other 5 teams that interviewed him, but that's neither here nor there. And
yeah,
the longer
nobody knows why he hasn't gotten a job yet. Like, I can't figure it out. Sorry, but I I've been waiting for that guy to get hired. I can't. I don't know why he's not.
Part of me wonders if maybe this year he got an offer and he just said no.
I think that's kind of
I don't know.
Yeah.
Andy Reid's been saying like he's ready for the job. He's ready for the next step. I'll help him get whatever job he wants, and nobody's pulled the trigger. So it's just, I don't know. I don't understand it. Sorry for interrupting you, Paul, but
No, you're good. I just think that, I mean, long story short, the Texans need to get rid of him quick, or they're going to be sitting on something for a long time.
Speaking of somebody that likes to get rid of him and get rid of him quick, did you guys hear that Derek Carr might be on the move?
Yeah. There are so many starting quarterbacks that are going to be on different teams next year. It's crazy.
One of the things that we absolutely know about John Gruden is that he loves every single quarterback that's not on his team. So if we see Derek Carr on the move, I know we've talked about these insane, crazy packages that quarterbacks might pull. Do you guys think that Derek Carr might actually get the Raiders some return?
I don't think he's going to get the Raiders a return because their coach doesn't want him. He's good enough, I think, to get close to a Stafford offer where you get like a starter and maybe 2 first-round picks or a first and a third, first and a second. But I think everybody knows that John Gruden doesn't want Derek Carr. So the same way that if you know Deshaun wants out, why are you going to give up a bunch of stuff when the coach wants to give him away?
they're thinking about trading Carr. I mean, good luck. I mean, he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's played great the last 2 years. 3 years ago when they had their playoff run, he was on fire. He was great. I'm not a big fan of the eyeliner he wears. It looks kind of weird, especially when he's playing. But he fits that team so well with that. You're right. Well, yeah, and I mean, I don't know. It'd be interesting if the Texans and the Raiders did a Deshaun for Carr trade. So then they both at least have quarterbacks that they want. Maybe I don't know if anybody wants Carr, but his brother played for the Texans, so that'd be kind of cool.
Oh man, could you imagine? That would be interesting.
That is the least likely trade I've ever heard of in my life. Derek Carr for Deshaun Watson.
Well, you'd have to definitely throw a lot of other stuff in there.
Obviously, I'm not saying straight up. Obviously.
Why don't we take current age Peyton Manning and trade him for Patrick Mahomes while we're at it? That's how intelligent you just sounded.
Hey man, current age Peyton Manning could make you some money in advertisements.
I mean, I figured it was pretty obvious.
Nate just choked. He was talking.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Because obviously there's going to be draft picks and other things involved. Obviously the Raiders are going to have. I'm sorry. I didn't give you the exact details to the trade scenario I was thinking.
See, Terry, Paul brings his friend on the show and is ruthless. I treat you guys nicely. I don't give you shit when you make bad takes. I just let you make them. Paul fucking holds these to account.
Yeah, man.
Paul.
Oh, he's coming at my third after I'm giving him a compliment about his damn team. What the hell?
Shut up, Terry. I'm gonna stick in your shit, okay?
I bring out the worst in Paul. I bring out the worst in him every time. I'm sorry. When Paul's around me, he's a dick. He can't help it.
I don't think it's just when he's around you, bud. But we're all good with it. We all love Paul. We all love all you guys. It's all good.
When he's around me. But yeah, no, he's kind of a douchebag sometimes. So
hey! All right. Only I can talk shit about Paul.
I'm just kidding.
So before the swap talk, I mean, there's definitely there's a few teams out there that desperately need a quarterback, right? So you got Washington, Chicago, and San Francisco is a quarter. I mean, I'm not really sure about Jimmy G, but I think if they
wait, Terry,
better than him,
I don't mean to cut you off. I love you. I'm sorry. But you mentioned it. 49ers, Kirk Cousins. Holy shit. Did you guys hear about this?
God. Why? Why?
Wait, what happened?
The 49ers are trying to flip Jimmy Garoppolo for Kirk Cousins. That is the worst trade ever.
How drunk was John Lynch when he thought that up?
Guys, I got a great idea.
I don't do that.
I got this great idea. Hold on. We're going to get Kirk Cousins and trade. That's ridiculous, man.
For
Come
Jimmy
on.
G.
That would be doing a disservice to the rest of that team, man. That guy's a joke too.
That's 4 extra picks a year the Packers can get. I mean, let's do this thing. And nobody else wants this to happen. I'm rooting for this. I want Jimmy G and the Vikings. Oh my God, that'd be great.
I'd rather have Kirk Cousins in the division than Jimmy G.
No.
Yeah. I would think that Jimmy G would be a better quarterback at the Vikings than Kirk Cousins.
That's what I'm saying.
Think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're both trash. I think Kirk Cousins.
No one said either one of them were good. We said one would be better than the other.
Yes, exactly. All right, so since the 2 Packer guys are here, I had another little tidbit I wanted to go over with you guys. I've heard a lot of
any more daggers in my heart.
I'm not. This is like a semi-good thing, I think. So I heard a lot of fervor before the podcast today that there was a lot of chatter about what TJ Lang said in an interview recently about essentially saying that like Aaron Rodgers was going to like vow for revenge against the Packers front office, which was a bunch of crap and it wasn't a big deal. The part of that I wanted to bring up, though, was that he was saying on the Pat McAfee show, I think it was like this week, that he thinks that this is going to be the year that Aaron Rodgers essentially goes to management and is like, look, I've played by the rules. I've done what you guys wanted this year. I've clearly shown I can play ball. Now you need to get me what I need so that we can get this over the top. You see what Brady's done with the Bucs, where he essentially was like, I still want Gronk. I still want AB. Do you guys think this might be the year that Rodgers says, look, either you guys help me or I'm out?
For his sake, I hope that it is. I think that not having gotten him a first round wide receiver in his entire career is criminal. I think that he obviously needs some talent around him. He's going to lose Aaron Jones. So they're going to be a step down in the running game. So they're probably going to have to rely a little more on his arm next year, even than they did this year. So if I was Aaron Rodgers, I would do it and be like, look, I've been here. I've poured my heart and soul into this place. Help me or get rid of me.
So the first part of that, because I heard the TJ Lang interview. First part was, Aaron, sticking it to the team, which I said right when they drafted Jordan Love, I'm like, you better watch out. Aaron's going to win MVP next year. He is going to be pissed off. And he was, and he showed it. He's not the kind of guy that's going to go in front of the mic and just talk a bunch of shit. He's going to show you what he's got, and he's going to make everybody else look bad while he does it. And he did that, and he's going to win the MVP, and it's awesome. I think the best time for him to really pull the I need guys now card would have been before he signed the last extension. I don't know why he wouldn't have been like, all right, guys, you want me, I want to sign this, but we need guys. I need more talent. I need better than Equanimeous St. Brown and Valdez Scantling and Alan Lazard, which I love Alan Lazard. He's a great wide receiver, but let's face it, he was an undrafted free agent and just happened to be a 6'5" freak of nature that just bonded with Aaron really well. But I think if he wanted to pull that card, it would have been the last time. I could be wrong. I don't see that happening.
I think the only problem with that is when he signed his last contract, he was younger. And I think that
obviously
now he's a few years.
Thanks for letting me know that.
You're welcome, dumbass.
Time.
Oh, okay, cool. Go look it up. You're just, I can't believe you. Anyway, he's older, so I think he's starting to see the end come a little clearer, and he hasn't accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. He's won 1 Super Bowl, and he's lost 4 NFC championship games. So I think the longer that goes on, the more you're willing to admit, maybe I can't do this by myself, and I need a little more help.
All right, boys, it is time. I'm excited. We've waited all year for the big game, and this week it is finally here. Before we get into the chat, I want to know, what is your ultimate Super Bowl food? What is that thing that you cannot wait to consume? What is that thing you make to bring to parties? Let me know.
All right, I'll go first on this. I was going to say food items is definitely going to be some chili for sure.
I'm going to go with some chicken wings.
I'm going to go with rum.
The actual just drink of rum. I love it.
Yeah, blackout or bust.
Nice. So for the chicken wings and whatnots, do you guys have any particular way that you like to prepare them?
I'm watching football. I really the food is secondary. I don't really care.
It's hot. It's in front of you. You don't care. Well, that's all right. You'll be eating them with 1.4 billion other chicken wings that will be consumed on Super Bowl Sunday, as well as 10 million pounds of ribs that are sold the week of the Super Bowl, and 28 million pounds of potato chips. I'm not a big potato chip guy. Maybe if I go to a Super Bowl party. So I myself don't anticipate going to a Super Bowl party this year, as well as also 72% of Americans who say they will not attend a Super Bowl party this year. So are you guys staying home? You guys doing a virtual thing? Do you guys have any plans?
I'm staying home this year. Super Bowl, it was always kind of mine and my dad's day, where we'd find a bar or restaurant with a big screen and we'd just go. Ever since the Super Bowl that Steve Young won with the Niners against the Chargers. I think it was Stan Humphries against Steve Young. That was the first one that I really remember. But it was always a day for me and my dad. But my dad has some illnesses that make him high risk for what's going on. So I'm just going to hang out at home this year and hope for next year.
Yeah, I'm not sure about doing anything. Same, probably going to stay home. Just watch it here. It's going to be different, obviously. It'd be awesome to get together with everybody, but it is what it is right now with this COVID situation. So it's better to be safe than sorry, I guess.
Yeah, I will be third seat in from the end at Indiana Joe's here in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. I'll probably get there pretty early, start drinking pretty heavy. I'll probably have some tots. That's one of their signatures. You can get pulled pork on them, and they have taco tots. They got pulled pork tots. They got everything. So yeah, I'll be there. I'll be drinking my sorrows away from what should have been another Packers Super Bowl. But yeah, I'm gonna go out. I'll have lots of fun. I probably won't have wings, but maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell.
So we're getting into what's going to be the second Super Bowl appearance for the Bucs and the fourth Super Bowl appearance for the Chiefs. And I think it's going to be all around a pretty great game. Terry, tell me about the line on the game.
Yeah. So right now, I would say a couple of days ago leading up to it was about Kansas City was 3.5 point favorites. As of right now, looking at it right this second, Kansas City is a 3-point favorite. Exactly.
That's a big half point. That's a big half point.
Definitely is. And every projection and expert and all these, talking heads that you can look out there on the betting picks, everybody has this within that 3-point window. So it's going to be a close game for sure.
Do you guys put anything behind the first time it's actually going to be played at, a team's actually going to play the Super Bowl in their own stadium?
Any other year I would have. But in the year where the stadium isn't going to be filled with fans, I don't think it carries much weight.
I agree completely with that. I think if it was last year or a different scenario, I think it would definitely weigh in the Bucs' favor. But I don't think it really matters, honestly.
Yeah, no, I don't think it matters this year. It's the Bucs had to play the Saints in the Superdome with 0 fans, so it's not going to make much of a difference. Whatever team comes out and plays better is going to win. What
would you guys guess is the average ticket price to go to the game? If you had to guess.
That's interesting. Usually it's super high, but I would think it'd actually be down this year. I'm going to guess 30% lower than what it was last year. Whatever that number comes to be, I'm just guessing.
Well, do you have the number that it was last year?
I have. It tells me how far off it was from last year, so I can tell you that. So you can kind of do a little math in your head when we get to the answer.
Or someone can do the math for Nate.
No, I just...
He's going to need help.
No.
Somebody can do the math for me, too. I don't feel like doing the math.
Yeah, no. So I I think it's going to be more expensive to go this year. I'm going to guess like $6,000 a ticket.
So you said 6, Paul. I'm so sorry, but refresh my memory. What was the price you said?
30% lower.
Can you give me like a
30%
ballpark?
Give me the price last year, take 30% off of it.
All right, fine. Terry,
Do the math, Paul.
you got a ballpark?
If I knew what the number was, I would, dumbass.
No,
I mean, this is just literally a straight up guess. I don't even know what it really costs for the ticket, but I would say like $2,000.
All right. So the lowest price of a Super Bowl ticket on the resale market was $8,613.
Damn.
The average price.
Suck a lot.
Wow, we were so far off.
Yep. The average price
I
of
said
a
6.
the average price of a Super Bowl ticket on the resale market was $13,497, which was a 61% increase from 2020.
Wow.
My cousin's going to the game, and I just found out how much he might have spent. So that's cool.
So the average price of a ticket to the last 5 Super Bowls, right, was $5,506.
I wasn't that far off then.
Any other year, this year,
Any other year, you would be not far off. But yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like to what Terry said, like I honestly would have no earthly idea. It's not like I've ever looked for Super Bowl tickets, but I was kind of wondering, like when I saw that, like holy cow, can you imagine? Because like Paul said, they're not going to have as many people there. That's 25% capacity, I believe.
I think they're having 27,000 people there, but I think 10,000 of them are healthcare workers. So like each state gets to send X amount. I think there's 200 coming from Wisconsin.
It's 14,500 fans on the Raymond James Stadium for Super Bowl. 30%. Yeah, 30% capacity. Yeah. So, and then this is another interesting number for you guys. What do you think was the average Super Bowl bonus for each member that the Chiefs received last year?
I know this number. No, it's 125,000. I know they got 95,000 for winning the AFC Championship game.
I was going to say 150,000.
Yeah, it was 124. You were super close, Nate.
Yeah, it was just on the radio today. So they had it in like 1974. If you won the AFC Championship game, you got $9,000.
Another thing I wanted to, that's kind of all this really is. And Paul's going to go over some betting stuff for us here in just a second. But one of the other things I wanted to mention, we did bring up in a previous podcast, but Sarah Thomas is going to be the first female referee to referee a Super Bowl. And that's definitely going to be pretty cool.
Shatter those glass ceilings, baby.
There you go. So, Paul, lay that betting action on me, baby. Tell me, what's the hot action this year for the Super Bowl bets?
The prop bets are actually down this year. I looked a lot. I couldn't find more than 20, and none of them are really all that great. The one that I'll always remember, because they always do the length of the national anthem, and I think it was the year the Packers were in it. It was Christina Aguilera who was singing the national anthem. Whatever year she did it, whether it was for the Packers or not, she missed an entire verse. And because she missed an entire verse, she was 1 second under the line. If she would have sang the whole national anthem, everybody on the over would have been paid. So,
wow.
Yeah. So that was always to me, the biggest prop bet that stuck out. But I mean, it's really the only stuff that's not kind of given would just be who the first or what the first halftime song is going to be. They've got like the 3 most common songs or other. Everything else is one fun one. What color will the liquid poured on the winning head coach be? There's like lime green, yellow, clear water, red, pink, blue, orange, and purple.
I'm calling red.
You're calling red?
Yes, both teams have red in the color. I'm calling it red.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, it's really just, is it going to hit the over? Who's the MVP? The one here is the position MVP will be quarterback or any other position. Now, obviously quarterbacks win most of the time, but if I'm getting 23 other positions when you count special teams and stuff, I would take the 23 versus just the quarterback. That's just me.
I think specifically with the way these teams are set up too, you could have very easily a non-quarterback MVP, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if the Chiefs win and Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill go off for 200 yards like they're both capable of, I think that they would win it over a quarterback. If Chris Godwin goes off for 150 and 2 or 3 touchdowns and the Bucs win, then he would win it over Brady. So I really think that that's the best bet out there for your money.
So I want to know, what's the over for this game? Like
56.5.
What do you guys think? Would you take the over or the under?
I'd take the over.
Yeah, I like the over on this one.
I like the over as well.
Do you think that, well, we're going to get into who's going to win here in just a minute, but what I wanted to know is if Tom Brady goes through, and let's say Tom Brady pulls this off before we get into predictions, does this cement even more his legacy as far as being the GOAT? Or do you guys think that at this point that it's not really going to make very much difference? Whatever he did with the Patriots is just going to be, this is just icing on the cake at this point.
To me, it depends. There's different arguments. There's 2 versions of the GOAT. There's the most talented player to ever play the position, and there's the most accomplished player to ever play the position. I think that it's pretty easy to tell that Tom Brady was never the most talented guy to play the position. Look at his combine workout. Look at what he did in Michigan and his early years where he didn't really pass all that much. But I don't think anybody will ever come close to the accomplishments that he has. 10 Super Bowl appearances, 6 wins, two that he probably shouldn't have won, or probably should have won if not for 2 of the greatest catches in Super Bowl history. So I think that he will always be the GOAT as far as the most accomplished player. I think that part of that is teaming up with the best coach since Lombardi and possibly ever. So I don't think he's the most talented. I do think he's the most accomplished.
Really quick, Tom Brady said it himself. The only quarterback he actually watches on TV, Aaron Rodgers. You guys are welcome.
Yeah. Take credit where credit's due.
I agree with you. The accomplishments are already there. Everybody hates Tom Brady because of all those Super Bowl wins, but yeah, you can hate the guy, but you have to respect him. So if he wins, I think it's like, so he would have seven Super Bowl wins in 10 appearances. And one on a team that he's on in his first year.
Yeah, it really just seems like Tom Brady said, "Hey guys, want to go to the Super Bowl?" And that's it.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like I'd mentioned before we got on, this could be like a passing of the torch type of game too to the next generation with Mahomes. It's going to be, I think I just can't wait for this game. I think it's just going to be unbelievable with the amount of like explosive offense that's going to happen and like with the Tyreek Hill. And I don't want to get into too much of it, but that's one other thing, like where you had mentioned with Brady that he's not the most talented guy, but he certainly always has great players around him. So that's an argument against them, but the guy just wins. So it doesn't matter to me. If you win, you win. That's all.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's interesting that we're having this passing of the torch game because I thought that's what the AFC Championship game was last year. So I think it's interesting that he went to the NFC and now it's going to be that all over again.
That's actually that leads me into my other question pretty well, which was if Mahomes loses this game, is he now out for catching Tom Brady for GOAT? Like, do you think that if Mahomes doesn't get this specific Super Bowl, that it hurts his overall ability of trying to become like the best quarterback ever?
No. He'll have lost to the GOAT, but he'll still have many, many years to overtake him. It's going to be really tough to do.
I legitimately think that Patrick Mahomes is Gale Sayers, and that if he gets injured, career-ending injury, he's still in the Hall of Fame right now.
Yeah, I mean he's done enough already to have some consideration. I mean his numbers alone, and he's already got a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP and an MVP. So yeah, I agree with that.
If he wins this one, he'll be the youngest quarterback to ever have two.
So my next one is I want to know about your thoughts on, do you think Andy Reid already has done enough to get into the Hall of Fame, or do you think if he loses this game, it hurts his chances of getting in?
I think Andy Reid was
in.
I think he was in before he won the Super Bowl last year. Everyone pretty well agreed that he was the best coach to not have won a title. I think getting to all those NFC Championship games with average Eagles teams, and I'm saying average just because, I mean, Donovan McNabb, he was pretty average.
It didn't hurt me at all when you said that. Don't worry.
Okay,
I agree too.
So I think that the ability to do that with an average team, and now you see what he can do when he's got the talent on the team, he's in the Hall of Fame for me already.
Yeah, I think he's definitely he had it before, like Paul said, he had it before the Super Bowl win. He just his resume had so many wins on it, even though the big game wasn't in there. But I mean, he's already. I mean, he's easily in the top 5 all-time head coaches, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean, there's Lombardi and Belichick. He's not far behind them. Maybe Landry. Trying to think of some of the all-time coaches, but he's definitely in the conversation, and he's in the top 5, no doubt.
Shula.
That's him too. Yep.
Andy Reid's the only head coach to have 3 consecutive years of going to the NFC Championship game and the AFC Championship game. He's the only coach to ever do that. He had 3 consecutive years with whatever the name of the team that's in Philadelphia, and now he's had 3 consecutive years with the Kansas City Chiefs, all home games. So yeah, I mean, he's a darn good coach. He did a lot with nothing in Philadelphia. And he's doing a lot with everything in Kansas City. And yeah, I would put him in the Hall of Fame, first ballot, easily.
All right, so let's get ourselves into the predictions for the big game. I want to hear what we're going to do. Let's do round robin style. What I'll do is we'll do Paul first, then Terry, then Nate, and then I'll follow up in the at the end. So we'll head ourselves around and just kind of tell me your reason for having that particular pick, and then just tell me about who you think's going to win and why.
All right, I'm going to pick the Chiefs in this one. I think that they are a much better team. I know that you've got experience with Tom Brady on the other side, and you don't want to pick against him very often. But I think the Chiefs win. I think they cover the spread. To me, I could see this being a 2-possession game where they win by at least 10. I just think there are too many weapons on that offense. I don't think that you're going to be able to slow down Tyreek Hill, cover Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman. They've got their running backs back with Edwards-Helaire, and I just there's too much talent on this team. And at the beginning of the season, they were my Super Bowl pick before the Bills really kind of picked it up the last quarter of the season in the playoffs. So I really don't see them losing. Even in their last game in the AFC Championship game, when they were down by 9, it never felt like they were going to lose that game. It didn't feel like it was going to be that close, and in the end, it wasn't. And I just think we've got another one of those situations here. I think that Patrick Mahomes is too good to lose this game. Yeah.
So I'm also with Paul. I'm going Chiefs. I mean, this game is going to be real close. I think it's going to be, I'm going to say probably within 4 points. It's going to be a one possession game. It's definitely going to come. I think it could come down to the last drive potentially. I was just looking at some of the statistics. So like one of the things that I'd seen was that teams that have played each other previously in the regular season, the team that lost the game and in the regular season, and then they met in the Super Bowl, it's what's the regular season, they went 6-7. So the NFC team that lost the AFC team in these situations had never lost twice. They'd always won the Super Bowl when it came up again.
Wow.
But basically in this situation, I just don't see how Tampa Bay's got some explosive players on offense in Evans. I feel like Antonio Brown's going to show out for this one. And I also think Gronk always is a problem in the playoffs and get down in the red zone. He's going to be a big issue matchup wise, because Kansas City's defense they're not great. I mean, they've got a couple of really good players. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu is definitely going to have to do a lot in this game, but I just don't see on the other side of the ball. I mean, the Bucs pass rush is going to have to get home a lot for them to really slow them down, because their secondary has been suspect. And I do think that Kansas City's going to have problems running the ball against the defense, but I don't think they're going to have problems passing the ball. I mean, I just don't. After just seeing the cheat code speed of Tyreek Hill, and nobody can cover Travis Kelce either. Those two, I feel like they're going to have a field day against that secondary. So, I mean, that's why I'm going with the Chiefs on this. My gut says that they're going to win. I mean, I could certainly see it where, like in Paul's situation, where they get a late score or something and go up, double digit. But I think with Brady, it's Brady. He's going to keep it close. So I'm going to say it's a tight game. I still haven't made my decision on how I'm going to bet this one, but I'm probably just going to put some money on the Chiefs on the money line. Honestly, just win without any kind of point spread. But yeah, I just think that their offense is going to get done. Plus, the last thing I'll say is that the Chiefs have come from behind in so many games and won that even if the Bucs were to get out to a little bit of a lead, I feel like that's right in their wheelhouse where they kind of thrive on being in that situation, and then they just turn on the gas and they're gone, and then that's it. So it'll make for good TV for sure.
I'm picking the Chiefs to win. Their offense is just too good. They have too many weapons. I know that Tampa Bay has Gronk. I don't think AB is going to be as healthy as normal. Plus, he's still kind of getting back in the swing of things. I see this game probably being a 2-score win for the Chiefs. My final prediction is probably going to be 34-27 with the Chiefs winning.
So I wanted to make sure that I made it known, since Ralph is not here, his pick is obviously the Chiefs. We wanted to make sure he did not get disowned by his in-laws. But yeah, so I'm going to follow suit with all of you guys. I think this is going to be the Chiefs' year. I've said it all year long that I think this is going to be their year to lose. So if Brady happens to pull it out, I don't think I would be shocked by any means. But I do feel like in the end, the Chiefs just have too much for them. I think that the Bucs secondary is just going to be lacking unless the refs decide not to call holding penalties or things of that nature. Then I don't think we'll have to worry about it too much. Although we were talking about that pass rush, and we've talked about how the center for the Bucs is definitely a beast. So I feel like it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to see how the styles of offense and defense come together. I know Andy Reid is going to have some pretty fun trick plays. And so I think it's just going to be, at the end of the day, too much for the Bucs to handle. I think it's going to wrap things up here for another episode of the Muffed Punt podcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I also want to thank Paul and Terry and Nate for taking some time out of their day to show up here for our Super Bowl episode. episode. I think we'll be back again next week. Well, I think we're going to diversify the show a little bit, perhaps mix in some hockey and some baseball talk, maybe a little NBA action. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, if you guys are still around, make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe. Another episode of the Muffed Punt podcast in the can. Have an awesome rest of your night.
It's my turn. You told me it was my turn.
You can talk all that you want to, yell and scream. You lost.
It is my turn.
You lost the game. Take as long as you want. You still lost.